Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. In 5 minutes. Come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appear.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room. Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Was bedeutet, es kann niemand anders außer Sayaka geschrieben haben, bevor jetzt irgendjemand behauptet, es wäre eine Fake-Nachricht.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But
Of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Then that note... Sayaka wrote it?
but why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Hifumi's the killer!
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
Okay.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention.
Warum Pan? Okay, was hast du denn zu sagen? Oder was haben wir dazu zu sagen? Dorm Nameplates.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in. So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It certainly would seem that way.
Ach so. Ich glaube, Celeste weiß nicht, dass die Platten vertauscht wurden, aber wurde das nicht gerade erst erwähnt.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct?
But in the note, it specifically says, I see. Then they would have gone exactly.
The room that Makoto...
No, that's wrong. The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Auch wenn es Makotos war.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right?
Okay, then who did it?
There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates. The only other person who knew we had switched rooms. Yeah, Sayaka.
I got it!
Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just us two. In 5 minutes, come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot!
Motherfucker!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
The reason I know Sayaka's wrist was broken with a fake sword is because wegen dem Gold. When you look at her wrist, there's no doubt. Ich muss euch einfach das zeigen.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword! Right there on her wrist!
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
All right, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
What happened in my room, and what led to Sayaka's death? That's what we need to make clear. There's a bit more to learn about non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Es wird immer schwieriger. Are you getting used to these non-stop debates? Starting with the next debate, I'll start loading multiple truth bullets into your truth cylinder. But just like with the weak spots, only one of those bullets can actually refute the proper statement. In other words, from here on out, you'll have to combine the right truth bullets with the right weak spots to refute each statement. If you come up with the wrong combination, you'll take damage to your influence gauge. You can press the Q key, okay, das habe ich mich nämlich noch gefragt, wenn man das macht, to rotate the cylinder and choose which bullet to fire. Press and release the Q key to cycle through each bullet. Or you can use the mouse wheel. By the way, if the logic difficult is set to kind, fewer bullets will be loaded into the cylinder. For our purposes, this time the logic difficult will be set to mean. Dankeschön. Okay, kann ich das jetzt auch einfach mit der Maus machen? Replica Sword, Sheath, Kitchen Knife Set, Replica Sword. Also nur eins davon ist wirklich wichtig.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt.
Ich will erstmal gucken, was das alles ist. Replica Sword, Sheath. Took this from the gym and really put it in his room. Sheath was found some distance from the sword itself. Shows evidence of being scratched. Okay. Was haben wir noch?
Sword-based sneak attack.
And
Kitchen
that's
knife
what
set.
broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
Und das Schwert selbst.
She tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away. But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
Kann ich es nochmal hören? Ich hab jetzt nicht so richtig aufgepasst. If the person with the sword really did attack first, there's no explanation for how a certain part of the sword got damaged. Ah, okay, ich glaube, ich weiß schon.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
And that's what broke Miss Mizono's wrist.
So she tried to fight back. She grabbed the kitchen knife she had hidden away. But then the culprit took that from her too.
And they killed her with it.
And that's exactly what happened.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
Stop. Ja.
No, that's wrong. Actually, no. I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Ja. Weil...
Why not?
Because the sword's sheath had been scratched.
Da stand ja da, dass die Scheide vom Schwert eine Art Schnittwunde hatte.
See? There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Stop jumping ahead! Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
If the sword was used first, there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath.
Weil man es ja rausnimmt zum Angreifen.
If you are going to attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
That's true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse. In that situation, there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
So you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Which means whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked first.
I think I get it. So here's how it all played out. The culprit came in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere. Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening. So she grabbed the sword to defend herself. But then the culprit took that from her too. Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
Because she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
The part of her body that shows she never used the sword. If you wanted to use the sword, which part of your body would have to touch it? Die Hände, ne?
I got it! You're talking about her palms,
Stimmt.
right?
Da hätte ja Gold dran sein müssen.
The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Why do you say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
Fuck. I never said anything like that.
No, that's not it at all.
There's no way Sayaka washed the gold coating of her hands because there's a certain regulation that talks about what happens to the bathrooms at night time. Water was off.
I got it! According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
Oh.
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big, fat, ugly donkey.
Holy shit.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
An insult, obviously.
So anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword.
Genau, wenn ich attraktiert werde. Oh, der Spur muss schön saubere Hände behalten, ne?
But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
The one who damaged the sheath would have had to have been the one without the sword.
I got it! Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But we already said that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
Sayaka?
Now do you understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
What?
She took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if it's true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation...
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
Which brings up another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct? Maybe the reason she wanted to switch rooms
Ich habe nur geguckt, ob meine Tür zu ist.
was so that she could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That would also explain why she would switch the nameplates. She wanted to get whoever she had targeted to come to Makoto's room, where she was staying.
Motherfucker.
And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto. But for that to work, the target had to be lured out, while still keeping the room swap a secret. If the target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
So all that's why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior.
Die hat schon immer einen gehabt. Ich wollte schon mehrmals anmerken, dass ich den cool finde, den Akzent.
I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Ouch.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Dankeschön.
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy shit!
But in the end, her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn. That must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Hey! You guys have totally derailed the argument! You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it!
Scheiße langweilig, mach mal hin.
Wouldn't it be awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time?
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery.
Elektroschocks.
If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Is it really all over? Obviously, I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. Or is there? Das haben wir. Dying message. Oh, nur das?
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
Doch hier. Das war einfach.
No, that's wrong! There still might be one clue left. Sayaka's dying message.
Dining. Wait, what did you say?
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037. Written in her own blood. There must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
There's no question that Sayaka wrote that message, and I can prove it. Your finger.
I got it! Her left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
Sure. I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it. But still, what the heck do those numbers mean? 11037?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
And shit.
No, that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Oh, yeah, it looks like...
Huh? What?
No, it's just, look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
Ah, you're right. The connecting line is barely there, so I assumed it was 1-1, but looking at it now, you could also read it as an N.
Whoa, you might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
But even if that really is an N, N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
Damn it, it's no use. I just don't know because I'm a total idiot.
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
Dankeschön. Huh? Rotate it? I think maybe I see something.
Oh my god. Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right onto who did it.
So, whose name did she write?
Sayaka's dying message reveals the real killer's name. If you turn her message 180 degrees, it should become crystal clear. Select someone. Okay, wir sind soweit. Wir dürfen den Killer auswählen. Muss ich wirklich fragen? Ich meine, come on.
Here's my answer. The key to solving this mystery was simply to rotate the writing 180 degrees. If you turn the message around, it becomes the letters L-E-O-N. L-E-O-N. Or more accurately, Leon.
What the hell are you talking about? It's just a coincidence. It's just a bunch of random squiggles that happen to look like my name.
No, it's not random at all. She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it.
Sowas in der Art hat Virtue's Last Reward dann ja auch nochmal aufgegriffen. Mit Clover, die Dios Namen auf ihre Schenkel geschrieben hat.
In that position, she couldn't move to write normally, and had to write upside down, as it were. And as a result, when you look at it standing in front of her, it ends up getting flipped. Try it for yourself if you want. Write something sitting like her, and the letters will be inverted.
That sounds like one hell of a stretch to me. I'm the killer? You can't just go and say shit like that.
If you're not the killer, then why did you try to destroy the evidence?
Oh, well,
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The evidence Leon tried to get rid of?
the evidence that Leon tried to get rid of? It's that thing I found on the ground in front of the incinerator, right?
I got it! You mean the burnt shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
As the killer stabbed Sayaka, they must have gotten some of her blood on them. And to dispose of the shirt covered in the victim's blood, they threw it into the incinerator.
But one piece burned off and got left behind.
And the killer didn't notice. If they had, they most certainly would have panicked. Isn't that right, Leon?
Ja, Fall 1 ist recht simpel zu spielen. Auch wenn ich den Twist damals nicht hab kommen sehen und voll cool fand, dass Sayaka die war, die ursprünglich was machen wollte. Aber die Fälle danach sind dann ja umso weniger einfach. Wenn ich an Teil 2 denke und das Pfannenhaus. Wow.
But is one scrap of fabric enough to conclude that Leon is guilty?
Yeah, I mean, Leon's not the only one wearing a white button-up.
That's right. There are plenty of other people here with shirts like mine. With just that one little charred piece, there's no way you can say for sure who it belongs to.
You're right. That alone isn't enough. But there are some other points that may reveal the truth.
Are you finally starting to understand? The answers to all the riddles are right here.
Time to go in for the kill.
Yeah, I think so.
The burned remains of the button-up shirt, which the killer wasn't able to get rid of. There's something about it we need to pay attention to in order to figure out who's responsible. How it was disposed of, würde ich sagen. Weil da ja eigentlich das Gitter zu war.
I got it! If we look closely at how the shirt was disposed of, we should be able to figure out who the killer is.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think I know what you're gonna say. You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right? And obviously, you wouldn't be able to hit the switch to turn it on either. You'd need the key to get in. And the one with the key was the person on cleaning duty. So the killer had to be whoever was in charge of taking care of the trash, right?
Interesting.
No, that's wrong. There was another way to use the incinerator without being the one on cleaning duty. Na, wisst ihr schon? And that's exactly what proves that Leon is the real killer. Die Musik ändert sich sogar.
The key to the trash room. Whoever was on cleaning duty must have had it, right?
So the only one who could get to the incinerator was the person in charge of the trash?
And you'd have to get close to the incinerator in order to destroy the...
No, that's wrong. Hold on. I think I know how someone could dispose of the evidence without using the trash room key.
Wenn der zweite Fall auch noch so einfach ist, können wir die Schwierigkeit noch auf Minen umstellen. Aber ich meine, ich habe es damals auch auf Kind gespielt und es wurde trotzdem in allen anderen Fällen immer schwieriger. Das ist eigentlich nur der erste, wo es noch recht einfach ist. Weil man sich auch langsam an alles gewöhnen muss.
But if you can't get past the gate, you couldn't possibly turn on the incinerator, could you?
Yes, you could. If you used this.
What is it, some kind of glass ball? It's busted to hell.
Es gab doch nur normal, nur Kind und Minen, oder? Sehe ich jetzt gar nicht. Jetzt kann ich, wo ich das umstelle.
Actually, it was supposed to be a crystal ball, but
But how would you use it?
The killer had to use the glass ball in a certain way, which was throw it.
The killer simply took aim at the incinerator switch and threw the ball through a gap in the gate. All they had to do was hit that switch, and the incinerator would come to life.
Someone threw a gap in the gate?
Es gab 3? Oder muss ich nachher nochmal gucken?
Remember what you said before, Hifumi?
Someone turned the incinerator on. Very strange. I'm quite certain it was the last time I was down here. Perhaps it was the work of a fairy.
Hifumi had the key. So the only way the incinerator could have been turned on without his knowledge was because the killer was able to hit the switch without opening the gate. Once they'd gotten the incinerator going, all they had to do was ball up the shirt and toss it in.
Hey, come on! What the hell is this?
All you have to do is look at the scene to know that the killer never actually went inside the trash room. The shards of broken glass, the incinerator left running, the piece of shirt that escaped the fire. If the killer had been on cleaning duty, the evidence would have been taken care of much more thoroughly.
Wait, no, just hold on.
But the distance from the gate to the incinerator has to be at least 30 feet, right? The pinpoint accuracy you'd need to throw a glass ball that far and hit something that small. Could someone really do that?
That's right. There's no way. It'd be impossible.
Difficult, absolutely. Impossible? I don't think so. Because the killer is...
It wouldn't have been much of a challenge at all for the killer because he's the ultimate baseball star. He knows how to throw things far and hit something.
I got it! Because the killer is the ultimate baseball star. Isn't that right, Leon?
Do you have any idea how stupid you sound right now?
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
You can't be serious. I'm not the killer! These goddamn shepherd brains have got it all wrong, I'm telling you!
You still won't admit it? Okay then, Makoto. Go ahead and review the incident one more time to make his crime perfectly clear. And with that, we can end this.
Listen to me! What the hell do you mean, end this?
Say what you want, Leon. But all the questions have been answered. And the truth has been revealed. Now here's what happened.
The closing argument is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Every case has one last element to bring the class trial to an end. This is the closing argument. In this phase, you'll give a complete summary of the case. You'll have to reproduce the flow of events for the case in the form of a comic book. However, you'll notice that in the comic there are a number of pieces missing. It's up to you to complete the comic using the provided truth panels. Also, if you take aim at a missing section and press the left mouse button, holy cow, you'll get a hint that might lead to a breakthrough. Well then, good luck and have fun. So viele komische Aspekte hier. Okay. Oh Gott. Und fängt es denn an? Wahrscheinlich hiermit, ne? Dann ist sie da, will ihn angreifen. Trifft ihn nicht. Er steht am Schwert. Und nimmt es, um sich zu verteidigen. Haut dann auf ihre Hand, wodurch sie das Messer fallen lässt. Nee. Nicht richtig? What did they do next? It's not a dude over as soon as the violence began when the killer entered. No. This must have entered the killer with a knife and noticed something in my room. Muss ja das gewesen sein. Use that object to deflect, ja. What did they do next? Ich hätte jetzt gesagt das, aber... Achso, ich kann schon weiterblättern, okay. Dann ist sie da rein. Force the bathroom door open. Only logical way they could have done that was... the screwdriver. She was stabbed. Dann hat sie was geschrieben. Dann war sie tot. Dann use an item to help dispose of the evidence. Das da. Object the killer threw to activate the incinerator must have been... the killer threw an incinerator was... piece of evidence left behind was this.
Here's exactly what happened.
Das finde
I
ich cool
think
gemacht.
I'd better take one more look back at the case from the beginning. Last night, the killer went to the room Sayaka was in. In other words, my room. From what we can tell, Sayaka invited that person there intending to kill them. She attacked them with the knife she'd taken from the kitchen earlier. But then something happened that she wasn't prepared for. They grabbed the fake sword I put in my room and fought back. During the struggle, a strike from the sword broke Sayaka's right wrist. And that's when she lost her grip on the kitchen knife. Finding herself cornered, Sayaka panicked and ran into the bathroom. The killer went after her, but couldn't get the bathroom door open. What they didn't know was that my bathroom door got stuck easily, and there was a trick to opening it. Sayaka knew about that because I'd told her, but of course the killer had no way of knowing.
Und er dachte, das
So
wäre
instead,
Sayakas Raum.
the killer forced the door open,
So
took
dachte
the kitchen knife,
er, ob das dann Schloss wäre.
and stabbed Sayaka. But with what strength she had remaining, Sayaka left a dying message. To keep the killer from noticing, she wrote it on the wall behind her. And with that, all her strength was gone. With Sayaka dead, the killer quickly began destroying the evidence. First, they took off their shirt, which was covered in their victim's blood. Then they took the lint roller in my room and cleaned up the entire area. They wanted to make sure they got rid of any trace they'd ever been there. Afterwards, the killer headed to the trash room to destroy their bloody shirt. They tried to burn the shirt using the incinerator there, but the trash room was blocked off by an especially sturdy gate, preventing access to the incinerator. So they came up with a plan to use Hiro's crystal ball, which he left in the laundry room.
Because he's an idiot.
The killer managed to throw the ball through the gap in the gate and hit the incinerator switch. For any normal person, that'd be an impossible throw. But the killer had the confidence to take a shot, and that's because the killer was the ultimate baseball star. The crystal ball, thrown with absolute precision, hit the switch on the incinerator, which then quickly roared to life. Having destroyed the final piece of evidence, they left the area with, I imagine, a sigh of relief. But there was one thing they missed. Part of the shirt they'd thrown into the fire burnt away and fell out of the incinerator. The killer didn't notice this, and so left behind a piece of indisputable evidence. Isn't that right, Leon?
Complete.
It would appear that Hiro simply forgot his crystal ball in the laundry room. You went there to try and wash the blood out of your shirt. And that's where you saw it, right? Seeing the ball? You thought of a way to take care of everything.
So, Leon, do you object to anything that's been said?
Do I object? Hell yes, I object! Of course I do! I object, I object, I object! I mean, all of this is just a bunch of stupid theories! You need evidence! Where's the evidence? Without evidence, it's all bullshit! It's bullshit and I refuse to acknowledge it!
Well then, I guess this is as good a time as any to present the evidence that proves you did it. Makoto, I believe you're in possession of that evidence?
Am I? I have the evidence. First bullet time battle is about to begin. Would you like to hear more? Ja, weil ich nicht weiß, wie ich es hier steuere mit Maus und Tastatur. Ein Rhythm Game. Sometimes during a class trial, your opponent simply won't want to hear what you have to say. When this happens, you will engage them in a head-to-head battle. We like to refer to this as the bullet time battle, aka the BTB-BTW. During the BTB, you want to destroy your opponent's statements in time with the rhythm. Measure button presses with each tempo marker as they move across the screen and reach the center. Press the right mouse button to lock onto an opponent's statement. Destroy the statement you've locked onto with the left mouse button as the tempo marker reaches the center. Use this method to deal damage to your opponent, and if you can't pull it off, you'll be the one in pain. Do this consecutively and you'll start a combo. Keep this going and you'll initiate a tempo up. Genau, rap battle. On the flip side, if you keep missing, you'll get into a tempo down situation. When the tempo changes, so does the timing for hitting each button. So watch out for that. Deal enough damage to your opponent and their weak spot statement will appear. At that point, you can press the left mouse button to shoot it down with a truth bullet like any other statement. Refute their statement fast enough and you'll come out victorious. But just like before, if your influence gauge reaches 0 or you run out of time, you'll fail. Well then, good luck and have fun.
When the killer removed the screws from the doorknob, they didn't use anything from your room to do it. Instead, they must have used something that belonged to them.
They used something of their own to remove the screws. Could it have been? Es ist jetzt gleich 11 Uhr. Soll ich noch das Trial zu Ende machen? Oder machen wir jetzt hier Pause? Ich kann gar nicht speichern, das ist natürlich doof.
I refuse to acknowledge you! You're stupid! Stupid, 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 stupid!
I have to show indisputable evidence that Leon is the killer. I need to figure it out. Ja, okay. Dauert, glaube ich, nicht mehr lange. Müssten 15 Minuten.
Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid! You lie! Stop talking! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! Stupid! You lie! Shut up! Where's your proof? You kidding me? Not a chance! It wasn't me! Stupid! Where's your proof?
This should prove it.
Ist eloquent.
The screws on the bathroom doorknob were removed. I wonder what kind of tool the killer used to remove them.
Ich glaube, das war's jetzt auch schon.
It had to be a screwdriver, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the toolkits we got each had one inside.
And that must be what he used. There aren't any other tools anywhere.
But the toolkit in my room had clearly never been used.
That's because the culprit didn't know it was your room. They thought they were in
Stimmt.
Sayaka's room.
Deswegen hat der Mörder gedacht, dass da kein Toolkit drin ist. Weil die Nameplates ja vertauscht wurden. Deswegen hat der Mörder gedacht, da wäre nur das Nähkästchen drin.
Only the boys got toolkits, so the killer naturally assumed there wouldn't be one in there.
Okay, then whose toolkit did the killer use?
Ja, sein eigenes.
Stupid, stupid, stupid! It had to be their very own toolkit.
Und deswegen hatte Christian vorhin recht.
Stupid, 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 stupid!
Vorhin.
Leon, would you mind showing us your toolkit? If I'm right about this, then the screwdriver will show some evidence of being used.
Und die Folie ist ab.
Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Huh? And if you say you used it for something else, you'll have to explain exactly when, where, and why.
And let me say this right now. I lost it isn't an excuse at this point.
Stupid. Stupid.
So, you have no rebuttal?
Then it would seem we are finished here.
Oh, geil. Das gibt fette Punkte. 78 Münzen. Geil. Ja.
Looks like you've reached your verdict. Then are we ready to cast our votes? You all have a lever in front of you. Use it to make
Ich
your
finde es voll lustig, wie
selection.
sein Porträtbild die ganze Zeit hin und her, als ob er die ganze Zeit so machen würde.
Oh,
Springt.
just to remind you all, make triple sure you vote for someone. You wouldn't want to be punished for something so minor, right? Okay, then let's get excited! Who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice? Or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Wie war das jetzt? Es ging so oft hin und her, ich habe nicht aufgepasst, aber irgendwann wurde doch mal gesagt, Makoto ist der Arsch. Makoto. Die Animation war zu geil. Looks like you got it right on the money. The Blacken in this case, the one that killed Sayaka, was none other than Leon Kuwata.
Huh? Hey, hold on.
Hold on a second. Leon, did you really kill Sayaka?
But
I don't believe it.
You son of a bitch!
What the hell is wrong with you?
I didn't have a choice.
It was kill or be killed.
So, that's why...
I killed her first.
None of you are any different!
One wrong step and you'd be the one standing here. It was complete chance that I wound up like this.
I was just... unlucky. That's all. Hey! Come on!
You expect me to just accept my death? Everything's become clear. The decision we made was right after all, but when I think about that, honestly, I'd be better off if we'd been wrong. Because if what we came up with really is the truth, then that truth is that Sayaka was trying to frame me. Ja, ganz schön fies, ne? But even if that's true, und die ganze Zeit war sie so nett zu uns, ne? I can't say she was wrong. After all, the mastermind. It's all because of that video. Even I couldn't handle what I saw in there. If I was her and the video actually had something to do with me, I can't even imagine. We're trapped here with no way out. They're probably waiting for me.
Why?
I can't afford to be stuck in here. The one thing that was more important to her than anything else, her dreams, her friends. To have to see something like that happen to them, and Sayaka. I did whatever it took to reach that dream. I mean it, even some things that weren't so pleasant. And that's why Sayaka, for the friends that meant so much to her, that's why she betrayed me. So when she said,
No matter what happens, please always be there for me. I need you on my side.
wie toll das geklappt hat, ja. She was lying to me from the very beginning. She was using me. Is that why she talked to me in the first place? I guess I'll never know, because there's nothing I can do to ask her what she was thinking. Once you're dead, that's that. Boy, howdy, the entertainment industry must sure be terrifying, huh? I mean, to try and kill someone just because of those relationships.
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
She seemed so nice and lovely on the outside, but inside she descended into pure madness. What did you say?
Phew.
I understand, really, I do. Yup. You're in utter despair thanks to Sayaka's betrayal, right? Compassion, intimacy, love, the stronger those feelings, the stronger the despair when they collapse. Stop screwing with us, this is all your fault. Sayaka being forced to do something like that, all of it, everything, it's all your fault. Suddenly in a frenzy I lunged at Monokuma, but
That's enough.
as angry as I was, Kyoko latched onto my arm without hesitation. Her grip was like iron, strong enough I was sure it would leave a bruise.
Calm down.
If you really want to make her enemies pay for what they've done, you need to let it go for now. Damn it.
Ba-bum,
Ah,
ba-bum.
that was a close one. I thought for sure you were gonna give me a good walloping. Just barely avoided punishment, you did.
Yes, indeed.
Now then, since you so magnificently revealed the identity of the killer during the class trial, the blackened Leon Kawada will receive his punishment.
Punishment? You mean execution? Wait a second!
I didn't have a choice. I had to kill her.
Yeah, that's it.
I was just protecting myself in the heat of the moment. It was self-defense.
Is that okay?
How exactly was it self-defense? When you forced your way into the bathroom, did you or did you not use your very own toolkit? After she had shut herself in the bathroom, you went out of your way to head back to your own room. Then you came all the way back, broke into the bathroom and killed her. Am I wrong?
Do you understand?
You had any number of chances to stop what you were doing, but you choose not to. Is it not because you had an unclouded intent to commit murder?
So, that's
No,
why...
it's not. Stop it. I've had enough of this.
Oh,
Are you sure? You were closer to her than anyone, were you not? He killed your precious Sayaka. Do you understand? I can't say Leon is solely to blame. Of course I don't plan on blaming Sayaka either. Because if the one to blame is him. If it weren't for you, this never would have happened to Sayaka or Leon. We shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be fighting against the one who put us in this situation, the mastermind.
Unbelievable.
Did you awaken to your sense of justice?
Hey,
Well, it just so happens that there's nothing more unethical than an unwavering sense of justice. After all, it's people with that sort of mentality that perpetuate war all over the world. Mann, hat er vielleicht nicht mal ganz unrecht. Is that the kind of justice that's awakened within you? Just shut up. Okay, well, anyway, more importantly,
kills,
hurry up.
kills, kills!
Get to what everyone's been waiting for, the punishment.
I'm begging you! Please, don't do this!
Hey,
No more begging.
come on
No more
now.
excuses. You must pay the penalty for breaking the rules. Society demands it. Ich speichere jetzt nochmal. Ich glaube, ich kann danach auch sprechen.
Stop! Please!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For Leon Kawada, the ultimate baseball star.
No!
Let's give it everything we've got.
yeah.
It's punishment time!
No!
This is gonna be good. Mhm. Ui. Au. Au. Und das war's für heute. Das war doch ein schöner Schlusspunkt. What we saw. Da machen wir dann nächstes Mal weiter. Und dann haben wir heute ja auch endlich mal das ominöse Gameplay gesehen, das es hier gibt. Und ja, wie das, das Gameplay halt. Wie ich vorhin schon meinte, der erste Fall war jetzt noch recht leicht zu durchschauen, vor allem weil die verkackte Sayaka ja sogar den Namen vom Mörder an die Wand geschrieben hat, aber von hier aus an werden die Fälle jetzt nochmal um einiges komplizierter und richtig schön cool abgefahren und ja, kompliziert. Das halt so in etwa wie einige Fälle in Ace Attorney. Und ja, wegen der Schwierigkeit will ich nochmal gucken, aber ich habe hier keine Einstellung dazu. Anyway, ich mach schon mal mit der Aufnahme jetzt vorbei. Aus Dings. Ihr wisst schon, ich beende die Aufnahme.